Yay! I think it worked. Hopefully. Yeah, 2 people are here. Awesome. Okay, good, good, good. Let me know whenever y'all can hear me. There may be a little bit of a delay. It looks like the LTE isn't like 4 bars, it's only like 2 bars. But hopefully it'll still work. Got my coffee here. Got my, oh, there we go. My questions here that the folks who can't make it have requested me to answer. So, and I'm wondering if, you know what? I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry, it disappeared. I was just thinking I have this little mic that might help the sound a little bit. So hopefully I won't be screaming in y'all's ears. Let's see. Okay. All right. So far, I don't see any questions popping up. But yeah, maybe that'll help the sound a little bit so that y'all can actually hear me. It's not saying anything about bad connection, so hopefully we're good. Can anybody hear me? Yay! There we go. Cindy, first one. All right, awesome. So happy to be here. Well, I'm happy that y'all are here, and I'm happy that this hit on a weekend because hopefully that'll help. Hi, Dixie, watching from Santee, California. Hi. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. The messages are starting to come through. I always feel like there's a little delay from the beginning to when they start rolling in. But, okay, so we got about 17 people. I think it's been a few minutes, so I'll go ahead and just blab on a little bit. But, so basically, when we got to Pie Town, there is no service in Pie Town. John, what's up? Portland, Oregon, South Louisiana. Man, this is so cool. I love seeing like where everyone is at. I just think that's awesome. But anyway, so I'm in Connecticut. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So when we got to Pie Town, it just got the service it was dead, and so it was a little disappointing, because whenever I get to town, I like to be able to catch up with friends and family, and have service to update y'all with what's going on. And I did get some Wi-Fi that was kind of spotty, especially like if another hacker is trying to use it too. So I wasn't able to do this in Pie Town, which I was hoping to. So anyway, happy that I can be doing it here in Grants. And but anyway, so yeah, we're at about mile 530 something now. That isn't actual miles hacked because of the alternates and things like that. It's just silly. It's almost like, and this is my opinion, I can't say that this is exactly how it was, but it almost seems like, the CDT is on all roads, like all gravel roads, all paved roads. And then they decided, okay, we need to create some kind of trail out of this. So along these roadways somewhere, we're going to put these trails. And some of the official trail doesn't even have water for like crazy long stretches. And so it's almost like they just randomly, got easements and whatnot and created this path that goes like near the road crossing. So it will no longer be on roads, but it's actually not feasible unless you're going to carry like 100 pounds of water. So anyway, I'm not saying that it's impossible to do the official CDT from start to finish. I'm just saying like there are alternates for a reason. So, but anyway, all right. So everyone's still coming in saying hey from the UK. Why do you have a downvote already? Oh man, when y'all downvoted, I'm sorry. I hope you're not upset, whoever did it, because it's only the patrons that are in here watching. But oh well, I reckon you can't make everybody happy. So, okay, so let's see. That was one question. Oh, did you make it to the post office? No, Lloyd, not yet. So we were gonna either not hack and make it, but we hit some trail magic, um, and got steak and mashed potatoes and green beans and some mead. And it was at a campgrounds off the highway, so we didn't have to camp like right on the highway in the ditch, because from Pie Town to here, it's all either gravel roads or pavement. So, but anyway, yeah, so we didn't have to camp on the side of the road, camped at those campgrounds. And so it was either like not hike after that or wake up at like 3 a.m. and rush here. So we just decided, Aaron's getting still kind of caught up on the next couple videos. So while I'm home for graduation, it'll allow him some buffer, so we won't be taking as many zeros. But that's why we started so early, to kind of give ourselves time. So we decided to take another zero. So I'll be hitting the post office tomorrow morning. That was a really long answer. I'm sorry about rambling, but okay. Let's see. Is your next town Cuba? Yes. Yeah, I think that is the next stop. And I think it's a little over 100 miles, if I'm not mistaken, like 110 or something like that. Have you got water filters? Yes. So my mom was a hero, and she sent me water filters to Pie Town and UPS them. So that's the reason we had to wait in Pie Town, because for they only accept UPS there at the toaster house. And for UPS, like, for her to get it there, I think it was like in 4 days or something. Maybe it's 3 days. I don't know. But it was like $20. So let's see. Can you say hi to my girlfriend, Sophie? It's her 21st birthday today. She loves your videos. Yes, Matthew. Hey, Sophie. I hope that you're having a wonderful birthday. And yeah, happy birthday. My 21st birthday, I rode a bull, and then it hurt my hip, and I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks. So I hope that that doesn't happen to you. But but anyway, okay, so let's see. Did you see some of the Route 66 scenery? I guess we haven't quite gone that way yet. I'm actually, you mentioned the Denny's, so like I saw that part of town. So I've seen the Denny's. So if that is it, then maybe. But I've honestly been laid up and like working and stuff. So you know, I haven't yet. So I haven't gone around town much. But on the way out of town tomorrow, I'm sure we'll walk through and like eat somewhere. And they had a brewery here in town, but I think it's closed down now. So kind of sad about that, because, you know, I like to be able to try beer locally, and usually breweries have like better quality food, so like some good salads. But last night I just ordered a salad from Domino's. That's kind of lame, isn't it? But what kind of hacker am I? All right, let's see. Paul says maybe it was an accident. Maybe. Or maybe somebody's mad at me. I don't know. Hello from Burlington, Ontario. Love watching your journeys. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Can you say hi to my girlfriend? Yeah. Okay. You always say that the AT was the build-up to the PCT, and the PCT is the build-up for the CDT. How is Aaron doing starting right out on the CDT for his first through hike? That's a really good question. So he's doing pretty well. He's doing like really well, actually. I mean, you know, in the first episode, he was kind of struggling with his tent, like the first night, you know, it was upside down and stuff. And actually, that's a question that somebody that said they couldn't make it. I've got a list of those questions. But I wanted to know is, you know, about like, why didn't Aaron practice with his tent, you know, before he got out here? Well, it came in the mail, and I think we left like the next day or something. And so I guess, and I'll go ahead and cover that question since it ties into this. It says, let's see. Talk about your approach to your adventure prepping. Basically, like, why no testing of gear before you go? So in regards to like thinking of stuff you sent home, Aaron's unfamiliarity with his tent, and then like on the PCT, I had never practiced like self-arresting. So, I mean, that's a really good question, and and the one that should be asked. So like, why didn't I prep more? So before the AT, I had never done any overnight backpacking trips. I knew I wanted to do the AT, and from reading, you know, I knew that there would be a lot of people out there. I mean, it's not like I'm giving the advice of depend on other people. That's definitely not it at all. But luckily there were other people out there to be like, oh, well, you know, it might help if you do this, or just to bounce ideas off one another. And I knew there would be. I had intended to practice using some of my gear, you know, practice cooking a meal and some of those things. And I don't know, honestly, I just didn't have time. Like before I left, I was tying up so many loose ends and everything, and it was kind of like, well, here it is, now or never. And so I just went for it. And you know, I started with the hammock that I had never slept in, and so yeah, it was kind of a rough start. And I definitely don't recommend that. You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't practice and that, you know, practicing won't make it easier, because it definitely will if you give your gear a good test run. I think I offset some of that by doing a lot of research. Like I read a lot about like what people took, what worked for them, what didn't, why. And I did take the advice of others. I feel like, you know, it was hard because people say like it's not a survival situation in the way of like you're going out there and setting up a bug out location or whatever. You know, it's not that. And it's so easy before you go and try it to like think that you're in that situation. Like you have to prepare in that way, but it's just not that at all. It's like literally going on the AT like 3 to 5 day stretches, just making sure you have what you need for those instances, and you pack your fears. So I just like kind of took all that advice and was like, okay, I'm just taking what I think that I absolutely need and what I, you know, need to survive. So a way to drink water, a way to have food, and some kind of shelter. And, you know, if I can cover those things, I'll be okay. And I can get to the next place and figure out what else I need. So I haven't really had an excess of stuff ever that I've had to send home. I mean, when I did a pack shakedown, like on the PCT even, you know, I sent home like Q-tips and, you know, stuff that's like I'm letting go of some comforts kind of thing. But so yeah, Aaron's tent didn't come in right before we left. And as far as self-arresting, there isn't much opportunity for that in Alabama. I didn't get my ice axe, you know, until right before the PCT. Like I didn't have any experience with that, but you don't get experience unless you go get experience, right? So, so I got out there on the PCT, and you know, as soon as I had a patch of snow and had somebody that could show me, you know, I was interested in learning like how to self-arrest. Should I have had more experience before I got out there on the one of the biggest snow years in history on the PCT? Yes, and I will say that yes, I should have. But I guess it was a risk I was willing to take, you know, and I did as soon as I could find somebody to show me like this is how you do this. I did want to do that, and I was practicing out there. So, so that's a really good question, and I'm not suggesting that everyone should just like not do their research, not do their homework, not practice things. I think that they should, and that makes the transition easier. But I am saying that it's not impossible if you don't do those things, because I did it. So, okay. Lord, it's like I hadn't talked to anybody in a long time, and I'm just rambling on. Okay, let's see. So yeah, Erin is doing pretty well considering everything. I think, you know, having people around that have a lot of experience probably helps some. So when do you tell when your filter has froze? Good question, Shelly. So, first of all, you know, if there's ice on your tent, there's probably a chance that like other things got icy too, right? But I wouldn't just go by that. So for me, and y'all will see in the video when it comes out, like the filter was frozen solid. Like on it wouldn't squirt water through it. When I unscrewed it, there was ice on the little gasket, the little ring thing in there. There was ice in my water bottle, so it was clearly frozen solid through. I don't think that there's a way to really test to see if it's still working. It was still pulling out solids, but I don't know if it's pulling out stuff that I can't see that actually makes me sick. So I just added the bleach and then would run it through the Sawyer anyway just to take out some of those solids. And there's actually another girl here. Her name is Yoda, and she did the AT in 2015. I didn't know her. And she did the PCT in 2016, but her Sawyer froze the other night too, and this was after I told her about mine. And so we're like, man, rookies. So let's see. Good afternoon. In a situation where bears aren't an issue, what do you do with your food? Thanks for all you do for us. So Fred, being completely honest with you, I either, like if there are a ton of mice, I'm talking about like attack mice trying to get in to my tent, I keep it in my tent because they're going to get it no matter where I put it. Like if I put it on a bush. You know, we're talking in the desert where there are no trees, and you can't hang a bear bag. The best thing to do would be to get an earth sack, and I should do that. And up in grizzly country, I probably will do that, so I might not have to fool with like hanging a bag. I don't know. I'm gonna read more about grizzly country, but in grizzly country, I will be crossing my T's and dotting the I's and doing the triangle method. You know, camp in one spot, cook in one spot, keep your food in one spot. Like, we'll be following everything. Now in the extreme, like desert, no trees, you know, an Ursac would still be great there, especially if you have issues with the rodents and stuff. But a lot of times it'll stay in my tent if I think that a mouse might get it in the middle of the night, because at least I'll hear them like scurrying on my tent. In Washington, if you put a bag outside your tent in like 2 places that I camped, the mice were just gonna tear it up. So at least in your tent you could hear them trying to get in, but they might chew a hole in your tent. So it would have really been nice to have an Ursac or a bear can there, being completely honest with you. So so that's what I do. But if the mice aren't just like all around, you know, trying to jump on my food literally while I'm cooking it, then I'll just go out and try to find, you know, the highest branch or bush or something like that and clip it onto it and just get it out of my tent. So anyhow, let's see. Any snow on Mount Taylor? I think I saw Mount Taylor. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it was. I think that that's what we saw approaching here, and I couldn't see any snow. So if it's the one that I thought it was. But if I see it on the way out of here and I realize that, like, yes, there's snow, this is Mount Taylor, then I'll let you know. Hey there, Dixie. So happy to see you. How was the road walk? How's your Garmin? Kelly from Tahoe. Okay, yeah, I've got some questions here that that you commented on the little status. And the road walk was actually not bad. I think, you know, it does hurt my feet, and I've got a couple of blisters on toes that I never have had blisters on before. Feet are more sore, but honestly, my back, I've noticed, like, the muscles in my back are so sore, and my pack wasn't extremely heavy or anything, so I don't know. But yeah, it is pretty sore. And other than that, it's really not been too bad, though. You know, and this road walk actually had some nice views when we got on the pavement. We went through an area called the Narrows, and I don't know. So it was really actually kind of enjoyable. I do worry about folks like texting and driving and stuff. You know, on the gravel roads, when folks fly by, I worry about that gravel flying up and, you know, knocking me out, knocking another tooth out or something. But yeah, other than that, the road walk's been fine. You know, it's like a really wide trail, and you get to kind of all hang out together and walk beside each other, so that's kind of fun. Let's see. Make sure I haven't. Oh, and the Garmin is good. Yep, I'm loving the InReach. So yeah, I'm really glad that I have that. It's worth the wait. And I hear they're coming out with a mini now. Go figure. But that's okay. Looks like your puffy coat is still hanging in there. Yeah, this is the one that I got before the PCT. I did have some. I've got some patched areas on it where. Oh yeah, that one right there. Where the fire got me, like little, you know, embers from the fire will burn a hole in it. I've got a few places on my sleeping bag that I need to patch up too, so probably do that when I'm home for graduation. But yeah, it's hanging there, just doing fine. And I washed it before I came on this trail, so I think it helped the down fluff up a little bit more. Okay, let's see, scrolling through. Ozark, Alabama. Keep up the great vids, and above all, be safe. Thank you, Dennis. It's pretty cool. I've been to Ozark. How are you liking your shoulder pouches, and what do you stuff in them? Okay, so in my left shoulder pouch, I keep my wallet. Now, y'all don't come get my wallet. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so I keep my wallet, and I keep actually the harmonica that I still have yet to learn how to play. I'm going to work on it in this town. I'm going to look at some beginner things. I'm just going to start with like Mary Had a Little Lamb, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, because we've had folks playing guitar and Perk with his uke, and so I'm just like, I've got to have this. So anyway, that's what I keep in that one. The right one, I keep the InReach because I want to keep it in reach. Get it? And then on the little mesh outside things, I keep like chapstick and my headphones. So because they both have little mesh parts on those. So, and I do like those for sure. let's see. Okay, I was thinking of y'all a couple weeks ago. I did a day hike on a section of the CDT. I was on Peru Creek close to Loveland Pass. There is still a lot of snow in the high country. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not, like, it's been a pretty low snow year, I think, and maybe now it's average because there has been more that I don't know about. But I'm just not really worried about it. I mean, after the Sierra Nevada, I'm like, I got this. I mean, I'm not taking it lightly, obviously. Like, I'm still going to take the precautions and do what I should and all that. But, yeah, I'm excited for Aaron to get in some snow. So, sorry, I had to have a little fuel. I've got this coffee creamer and hot chocolate mixture going on here. But yeah, I'm excited for Aaron to get in the snow and to show him self-arresting and stuff like that. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, you know, I still have to get off for graduation. It'll probably be a week later this month, and so I assume that we won't be hitting it till June sometime for sure. Hello from South Dakota. Sorry I'm late. That's all right. You can just join in whenever you want to. It don't matter. We don't get upset around here. You're kind of known for losing things like your knife. Have you lost anything on this trip? Knock on wood. Not permanently. So like I have had my tent stakes at the beginning down in my pack and didn't realize where they were. My vitamin or my fish oil pills. You know, I forgot where I'd put them, but nothing like it's been stuff that I have had but I thought was lost kind of thing. Haven't left my trekking poles anywhere. Haven't like, I think I've been doing a pretty good job, and now probably in this town I'll leave something that I need. So, so far, no. So far I'm doing well with that challenge. So, me being my own worst enemy. Did Chestnut grandparents check out your online presence and or possibly make further contact? You know, yeah, so he's talking about the horse that we ran into. It's in the second episode. Yeah, Chestnut. And it's just a horse that we can't buy one night. And yes, they actually comment on the videos. So it's really cool. And they have my email address and stuff like that, and my phone number now that I called them to try to find out who owned the property where that calf was. So yeah, I have a little bit talked to them, but they have watched the videos now, so it's pretty cool. I noticed your knife is number 100. Is that symbolic of crossing those 100-mile markers? You know, I wish I was that cool that I had come up with that idea. Honestly, the reason that I have number 100 is because, I don't know, I felt like everyone else should have first come, first serve of the other ones. You know, somebody was like, oh, you should keep number 1. And I'm like, no, I feel like that's cheating, you know? I don't know, I just didn't feel right. So I reckon for me, it was just kind of like, hopefully 1 through 99, you know, those folks are going to be like going on adventures with them and like, you know, or even if it's not necessarily like in the wilderness adventures, you know, adventures of life, like trying to chase their dreams and work on, you know, reaching their goals and whatever it is. And so for me, it was just kind of like, I don't know, like go forward and do good things, you know. And so having 100 and just kind of like following up the bunch, you know, following up the rear, you know, kind of, I don't know if that makes sense. In my head it did, you know. It's kind of like all these people going forward and I'm just like, yeah, I'm backing y'all, you know, I'm number 100. I don't know. So I just kept 100 because I felt like everyone else should have first dibs on the others, and because of what I just said. So anyway, I guess that's kind of cheesy, but all right. Hello from Israel. What? That is so cool. Following your journey. Have a great time. That is awesome. Yeah, that's a place that I would love to see one day. So and somebody asked that, what's next after the CDT? And, you know, people ask that a lot, and definitely other countries. I want to go and do some things internationally. So maybe not Israel. I do want to see Israel, but I'm saying like, as far as the next hike goes, I'm thinking about in New Zealand. So I don't know though. We'll see. Still got some time to think about that. But yeah, Israel is a place that I would definitely love to see. And my brother has been dying to go to Israel. So so that's awesome. I'm glad that you joined and said hello and let us know that is where you're from. That is so cool. And thank you all for for your support. Seriously, like, I love coming in here and talking to y'all and, you know, answering these questions, but you know, if it wasn't for y'all supporting me and like believing in me, I couldn't be here doing this. So I can't, I feel like I say it all the time and it gets like hollow, and you know, maybe it doesn't mean anything to y'all anymore when I say like, seriously, thank you so much, but like, seriously, like, thank you very, very much. So, okay, let's see. The next question. Okay, I had a mouse chew into my medication bag one night. I hope he overdosed on the opiates he found in there. That is hilarious. I mean, that's terrible, but it's hilarious. Or like some X-Lax or something to serve him right? Okay, so let's see. Okay, lady question. Have you tried using a Shiwi or a pee-style type device so you can pee standing up, or you could write your name in the snow? If so, what are your thoughts? Oh, right! I've always wanted to write my name in the snow. That's been like a thing that I'm so jealous of that I'm not a boy. If I used a pee-style, that would be why. But no, I haven't, you know, after a while my legs get strong enough that if I'm like getting closer to town, you know, don't have as much in my pack, that I've actually gotten to where I could like squat with the pack on. But most of the time, you know, I don't mind throwing the pack down, taking a little break. Like it's good for my legs. It's good for, you know, my body, my mind, to just kind of take it off and take a break. It is kind of a pain, especially if you're trying to rush to get somewhere. But yeah, I haven't had any experience with it. I just like, to me, I would have to have it somewhere where I pull it easily, right? So I don't have to take my pack off. So then I'm gonna have like this thing hanging out of my water bottle area or up here somewhere, you know. So I haven't tried it, so I don't have any good solutions for that. But I don't know, I just go. And then honestly, sometimes, like, and like I said, I won't do this in grizzly country. But down here in the desert especially, I've got 2 doors on my tent. So one, you know, side can be going in and out, and the other one in the middle of the night, I might just pee in my vestibule. So I've gotten pretty good at doing that. So, you know, yeah, I don't get to pee in a bottle at night, and it would be easier to not have to climb out of the tent or, you know, whatever. But I'm definitely not saying like they're not worth it. Some people love them, but I just haven't felt like it's worth it, you know. So how do you handle the nasty weather and the urge to go when you're cozy in your tent? Do you bite the bullet and go outside, or do you have a setup for your tent? Okay, so yeah, that's what I was talking about. I just kind of like hang my butt out the mesh door and like pull the floor of the tent away and just kind of go, you know. I mean, it's just pee. Boys do it, so don't let them tell you they don't. They do it, but they have bottles, so the pee style might be worth it at night, especially in cold weather, just for the sake of being able to go in a bottle in your tent. So, but I just haven't fooled with it. Would you ever THRU-HIKE? Not in 1 year, of course. The Great Trail through Canada, longest trail in the world. Not many can say they've done it. You know, I don't know, because we only have so much time on this earth, right? And we don't know how much that'll be. And so I think I would rather do like shorter, 6 months or less, trips in a bunch of different areas to devote a lot of time to that one. Not saying I definitely wouldn't, but I just don't know yet. So we'll see. Is there anything particular along the CDT that you're looking forward to seeing? The Wind River Range. I'm really looking forward to that a lot. And Montana in general. Looking forward to seeing moose. Have seen some elk. Have seen some antelope, deer, but I'm looking forward to the wildlife coming up for sure. Let's see. Best book on how to learn blues harmonica. Uh-oh, I don't think it included it, but yeah, I've had a couple people send me some stuff, but you can send me a message if you would like. Is it difficult to get everything done, all the hiking and camping and filming and navigating and editing and communicating without getting stressed and very tired? John, that is a great question. I would say no. It's not not possible to do it without being stressed or tired at all. But I would say, because like there is going to be some stress, you know. I do worry, like, oh, did the video post, and, you know, is it doing okay, and like, was there something stupid in there that like we missed on editing or something, little things like that. But so there are some stresses that come along with it. Also, like equipment, like I worry it would be unfortunate to lose a phone regardless of who you are. But like when you have footage and stuff like that on it, that can be stressful. So there are things that are definitely added stress because of what I do. But I love it. I love this. I love creating. I love capturing things. It's like that feeling of, you color a picture in preschool and you're like, Mom, look what I did. Look what I colored for you. And so it's so awesome to me to get out here and like, there was a caterpillar the other day that was crawling around. And, normally I'll get a caterpillar crawling and they just like crawl. They just crawl on by and that's it. But like this caterpillar started like, I don't know if you would say smelling like towards my phone, so his face is like getting all up in the camera and I had the macro lens on and I just, that's just so exciting to me. So it's like interacting with these little critters out here and stuff. And saw some prairie dogs the other day. Actually, I saw one get hit, y'all. It was horrible. It was the day before yesterday. And I love animals. I don't want to get like political or on Hot Topic or anything like that. But, I eat meat and I understand that, that things have to die for me to eat meat. Like I get that. But when something dies, like, and nobody's going to eat it, I really, really hate that. And so seeing this prairie dog up in the road and I was like, oh, I need to get up there and like scare him out of the road, and I'm like kind of rushing and a car comes and he just sits there and it just like plows over him and makes a popping noise. I mean, I shouldn't even go into all that. But anyway, it was just like, man, and it's just something I thought about for the rest of the day. So I don't like road walking because of that, because of stuff like that can happen. And I know prairie dogs wreak havoc on the land here and stuff like that. So there are a million different sides of it. But still, I saw an animal lose its life and it just wasn't fun, So that part is sad. But yeah, I love interacting with the critters and almost getting them to do, catching things that they do, like little quirky things. Like the other day, I was videoing a prairie dog and I was trying to get like closer and closer, an inch closer. And a lot of times they kind of look at you like, what are you doing? And this little guy said, "Eep," and he like yelled and then like went and hid in his hole. And so just catching like their little personalities or something it's just so great to me. I don't know. I just love it. And I'm rambling again, but anyway, so let's see what else we have. So yeah, I might get stressed out and all, but it just adds so much to life. And I'm seeing these things with my eyes, like in person. And so it's all worth it. What's your goal for tomorrow, Monday? So do you mean like hiking goal, like a mileage? I would say that tomorrow, leaving town 15, but I don't know. It'll just depend how we feel and how the food tastes when we stop and eat. But yeah, I would say probably, because if I'm going to have a hotel room, I'm going to take it until checkout, get your money's worth, and then probably eat lunch on the way out of town. So, hey, just stopping by real quick at work to say keep it up. I'll watch later. Awesome. Well, have a good time at work, Hannah, and I mean as good as you can at work. But and then yeah, check in later. Hello from Texas. Thank you for chatting with us today. It's so exciting to hear you each step away. I'm glad that y'all enjoy that. I mean, I don't know. Because there's stuff that is happening all the time that you can't capture just in video or just in blogs and stuff like that. So being able to tell you about the little things that wouldn't be, worth talking about otherwise is kind of cool. And I'm excited that y'all like to hear about it because, I don't know, I can tell my family these stories and stuff like that and they're like, oh my God, you're talking about hacking again. And I know that they love me and support me, but it's cool to have folks that are so interested in it, I guess. So. Do you use any paper maps and compass for land nav as tertiary means of navigation in case all digital options fail? Ross, you might be the one that asked that question on the post because I've got that written down too. But so no, none of us have paper maps. I have my cell phone, which I have like Topo Map. I've got several. I've actually got Jonathan Lay's maps, and then the gut hooks. Now, the CDTC and like anyone, with a brain would recommend having two forms of like navigation. So I have my cell phone, but the InReach also has a map and, shows you where you're at and all of that. So, and it does have the CDT on it. So, and then also highways and, things like that. So I do have two forms in the stuff on my phone and the stuff on the InReach, but I don't have the paper maps and all that. I mean, it's not a bad idea and to practice those skills, but I don't feel like it's been necessary yet. So that may change, you know, later. So, okay. I was curious, what kind of electrolytes do you like to carry, use? I've been considering making things simple and just carrying salt packets on my own journeys. You could do that. Actually, I have sitting right here because I'm trying desperately to hydrate while I'm in town. But this actually is just Mio vitamins, but they have the one that has electrolytes. I also like the Propel packets, and you can get, you know, a little container of Gatorade and add some of that. But when you have like so much of one thing, it can get like a little like, ugh. I mean, you get a ton of salt in like the food that we eat out here. So I don't know. I've just grown to like Mio. You can get different flavors, but I would get the one because they have the energy that has like caffeine in it. And to me, that's just gonna potentially dehydrate you further. So make sure you get, you know, the one with electrolytes. But it also helps me to chug and drink water when I know I need to, and I just don't really have a taste for it. So, so yeah. But the Propel packets are pretty good. I like those, and they have like the little singles of those. So. Let's see. How's Erin doing on the trail? Have there been other hikers that you've run into yet? Any more fun encounters with animals? Are your water sources getting better coming from a running source? Erin is doing great. He's doing just fine. He's a trooper. He has gotten lost. I think I told y'all heading to Doc Campbell's, like he got lost the day that we were heading there. And, well, it was like 2 days. And so he ended up going to the road. And so Perk's wanting to name him Rogue now because he went rogue. But anyway, so he's made a couple mistakes. I mean, I've gotten kind of turned around on this trail too. So it's not only newbies or only new people or whatever, you know, can get turned around or lost. That's obviously not the case. But he has done it a little bit. He doesn't check gut hooks as much as Perk and I, and it's because Perk and I have made the mistake and kept going on the wrong path for like a while, and we don't want to do that anymore, so we check gut hooks religiously to make sure we're making the right turns and if we get to a junction. And I think Erin just gets in that, you know, automatic pilot and doesn't like, you know, check. But he's learning, you know, and I'm sure the more he does it, the more he'll check, and that's why we do. So, but otherwise, yeah, he's doing great. He's really doing very well, and I forget a lot of times, like, this is his first backpacking trip. This is his first through hike. He's not a triple crowner. It's crazy. Any fun encounters with animals? No, other than the ones that I've talked about. Those have been it so far. And are your water sources getting better coming from a running source? So I have been finding a lot of it's still been trough water, but we've been catching them like while the sun's out on the solar panels, so the pump is actually pumping, so we get it like out of the ground rather than drinking cow spit and submerging it in the tank. So that's been kind of nice, but not a whole lot of running sources. Since we left the Gila River, there haven't been any really running sources, so I'm sure we'll get it in Colorado though, and actually head north of here I think we will. So let's see, right name in snow with P, hashtag girl goals. Yeah, definitely. There's actually through hike across Israel. There is, see, I didn't know this. It's 700 miles top to bottom. New Zealand is totally amazing. I hiked there a few years ago and it's okay, well there we go. That, it could definitely be a possibility. That's so cool. I'm glad that you shared that with me. And that's, like, I am very ignorant when it comes to that. Like, traveling in other countries and seeing, you know, other places like that aren't in the U.S. So outside of the U.S., I've been to Canada, which is when I finished the PCT, and I've been to like Freeport and Nassau in the Bahamas. And so haven't really traveled a whole lot outside the U.S. I've seen 47 states here though. So I feel pretty good about whooping the U.S. and now I'm ready, you know, after this to move on to some other things. So, so it'll be a learning experience. So thank you for sharing that. Hi from Silver City. Yeah, I liked Silver City a lot. That was a great town. Hi from Big Bear. Hey, y'all heard all these places that I've been. That's awesome. I can see these places in my mind. Have you had any good New Mexican style food yet? No, I don't reckon so. I know it's a little different, you had said, but I just like, I'm a meat and some spinach kind of girl. You know what I mean? Like I like meat and two veggies kind of thing. the I don't know. I had so much Mexican food on the PCT when I was going through California that I'm just kind of like burnout. Everyone loves Mexican food. I guess I'm just a bad person. I don't know. So I know you said the food in New Mexico is different. But no, I haven't really had any of it yet. Snowed in the San Juans a couple of days ago, but it's 78 right now in Colorado Springs. By the way, the rattlesnakes are starting to come out. Had 2 people get bitten the last week while hiking locally. Woo! Aaron saw one when he went rogue on his little road walk, but I haven't seen any yet. So it's just been freezing at night, freezing cold, and it's been hard to get out of the tent. It was warm when we started. I sent like my warm sleeping shirt home even. Oh, that didn't mess up the mic, but okay. Maybe it will be a good meal for a scavenger. Nature will make good use of it. That is true, Ross. Like, buzzards got to eat too. So, very true. Thank you. And he's talking about the prairie dog. I'm also an engineer. Does it seem to you like engineers are often the ones who dump their jobs and go to do something crazy like THRU-HIKing? You know, it's funny you mention that because, yeah, I feel like a lot of, you know, I guess people get this idea that it's like vagrants, you know, and it's just like homeless people and people that don't want to be responsible. But it's a lot of times there are very highly intelligent people out here, and they've just like, dare I say, like woken up, you know, and just decided like I want something more out of life. And but yeah, in Pie Town, the hostel I was at, there was a guy who is a chemical engineer, and he is hiking 5 days, and then he works 2 days. Like he'll get to a town and he sits down and he stays there for 2 days and he does work, and then you know, so that he worked out some kind of deal with his job where he can do that, and so he's out here, but he's THRU-HIKing, but he's working. So the birds will eat the poor little prairie dog. Circle of life, unfortunately. I'm like you, I hate to see it. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, everything's got to eat. So, how's your mom? Hi, Mom, from another hiker's mom. She's doing well. She's probably glad to have one of her children out of her hair. I'm just kidding. She would be upset at me if she knew I said that. But, you know, I think I'm really looking forward to seeing them when I get home, and I'm really looking forward to seeing my dogs. So I love my family, but like my dogs are my children, and I really do miss them a lot. And they keep Snapchatting me pictures and videos though, so I do love that. These critters ought to do whatever the spider whisperer says, don't you think? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they should. The spider whisperer, that's so great. Man, when I'm telling y'all, and I assume you're referring to that shot of like, when I told the spider, like, you need to be eating mosquitoes out here, and then the spider jumped up, like ate the mosquito. It was so great. But yeah, when I got that shot, I was just like, oh, like that was the highlight. That still is. That was so great. Okay, I'm watching with my wife who swore off tent camping 20 years ago. Do you have any advice for convincing a reluctant spouse to give backpacking a try? Oh, I mean, I would say, so camping at all, like any kind of camping, like even pulling up in a truck and like, I don't know, I guess take some comforts from home, some things that make you comfortable. And if that means having a Taj Mahal tent and like a big blow up air mattress and an inverter so you can blow dry your hair and, you know, I mean, whatever makes you comfortable. Or, you know, even if you go to like a campground that has like flush toilets and outlets and water, flowing water, I mean, I would say just slowly transition, you know, find something that you do enjoy in it. If it's like, if you like reading and you know that if like you go camping, you get to sit there and enjoy a book more peacefully, or if you like taking pictures, like start trying to take pictures of some of these critters and stuff like that. But I mean, in her defense, like life's short, you know. I don't know that if you hate it, you might not should do it, but I mean, I would say give it another shot, you know, and especially if you know your husband loves it, you know, I guess it's give and take in a marriage, right? So y'all can have a trade-off. Like you get to pick this weekend, like he gets to pick, y'all go camping and do it in a way that you can enjoy it as much as possible. And then like next weekend, you know, if you like craft shows or like, I don't know, what, you know, whatever your thing is, like the sipping wine and painting stuff, you know, then he gets to go and he can make it in a way that he enjoys. So compromise, right? So I mean, if you have any specific questions, just message me. But like, I don't know, you know, just try to do it how you think it would be most enjoyable to you, I guess. So, but it is so great. I mean, it is, I love it. And I mean, not everyone loves the same thing, but I think that there is something in getting out in nature and knowing that it's going to reboot your mind. And if nothing else, really truly make you appreciate your warm bed and your, you know, full kitchen that you get to cook on, and, you know, flipping the light switch on and off. And if nothing else, it will help you appreciate those things. So, all right. Do any of your friends from home make plans to meet you at certain points of the trail? Would it make it easier or harder to see people you know and spend an afternoon with them along trail? So my brother is planning to come out and potentially hike like 2 weeks when I head back from graduation. So yeah, that'll be the first time though that anyone's come to like hike. I have seen a couple people that I know along the trail. It depends, you know what I mean? Like, and I hate for it to sound like a selfish thing, but if you meet everyone you knew along every trail, it just takes so much time, and it doesn't seem like it. It's like, oh, it's just lunch, but yeah, but that's a couple hours, and then like the next town is a couple hours, and the next town is a couple hours. And the thing is, when I'm in town, like I'm doing this with y'all, or I'm responding to emails, or resupplying on food and bathing and relaxing a little bit, you know. And so when you meet people in towns for stuff like that, it really eats into that time, which causes to me more stress. You know, it's like, oh no, I didn't catch up and I have all this stuff to do. And so it can be nice. So like, say I need a ride from this town to this town, and they live in the area, and they're like, hey, I'll come, I'll take you from here to here. And so you're spending time while you're getting something done that you have to do anyway, you know, then that makes sense. But yeah, otherwise, especially people wanting to hike with you, once you get your trail legs, and I caution people about that when you're planning a through hike. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying that you might not want to make concrete plans in the future to have somebody come out and spend time with you hiking, because at that point you may have met a crew that you really enjoy hiking with, and y'all are trying to push to get to some certain town for some certain thing, you know, and you're having all this fun, or you've got your trail legs and, you know, you're kind of pushed for time, worried that you might not make it to Canada or Maine or whatever, you know, before the snow hits. And now this person comes along that cannot keep up with you. I mean, unless they just are very active, you know, because it's something that you're training at for months and months. So anyway, it can be great, but it can also, you know, cost you some time. So it's a trade-off like anything else. It is great to see people and be encouraged and have fun, but, you know, there's a goal in mind. So, let's see. How do you protect from the sun? Layer of sunscreen every X hours or just once a day? Is it different from the PCT? Keep doing this awesome stuff. Greetings from the Netherlands. So cool. Okay, so I protect myself from the sun by, I have a Gilligan looking cap that I wear. I have a collared top, you know, long sleeve shirt. My legs, I haven't really been putting sunscreen on them anymore. They get to a point where they're brown and they just kind of stay there. Not saying I shouldn't. I know I probably should. But when I take a break, I cover them up. Put sunscreen some on my nose, but that hat has been covering my face pretty well. And then I also have the umbrella. So there's that. But yeah, at first I did have to apply sunscreen a lot. But it seems like, you know, your skin, I know it doesn't like necessarily get used to it, but it's not going to burn as much. So, okay, let's see. How did the bleach, oh, and it's pretty much, the desert here is pretty much the same as the PCT in the way of protecting yourself from the sun, except there's more wind here, or at least there has been for me, and less shade. So the umbrella hasn't been as useful, but I still am really glad that I have it, and I went ahead and got a hat. So, so that is a little bit different. How did the bleach and water situation work out before you got your filter? It was fine. Honestly, it's more of a mental thing. Like, you're not supposed to drink bleach, right? So, you know, you're like dropping bleach into water and turning it up, and it smells like bleach. And so it's kind of a mental thing to get over. I probably was a little dehydrated after that stretch. but you know, I got through fine. So I don't love that. I would never use that as a main way to treat water. That's like a backup. And I did save it because it's a little eyedropper, it's light. But there's a girl here, Yoda, that I was talking about, and that's how she treats her water the whole way. She actually has a blog. I think it might be Hiking with Yoda. If you Googled that, it'd come up. So, but she's a pretty cool chick, so I'm happy to be hiking around her. Okay, let's see. Not to be agnostic in any way, but you said Aaron's doing fine. Oh, I thought you said agnostic. Oh my God. I was like, wow, now we're getting into religion here. All right. No, okay. No, not to be antagonistic. There we go. I can read now. Let me just drink another sip of this coffee. All right. Antagonistic in any way, but you said Aaron's doing fine. Is he enjoying himself? Okay. Yes. He said that this is the best job he's ever had. I think he's very much like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel, you know, because we tell him, well, on the AT, there was so many more people, and on the PCT, this, and, you know, like we compare and contrast things. And so this is all he knows, and he thinks that it's awesome as far as I can tell. So when we say things like, you know, golly, this is frustrating not having a beaten path, or wow, all these roadwalks, you know, it's because we have something to compare it to. To him, this is how it is. And so, but yes, I think he is loving it, and I don't think I could make him go home unless I, you know, like beat him with a stick or something. So he's loving it. So let's see. Any major gear changes? Sounds like you've got things pretty dialed in. Yeah, pretty much. No, nothing major yet. I am thinking about going to a 5-degree bag once I'm up in like cold areas, like maybe at the end in Montana, maybe even in Colorado, depending on the temperatures, because I've still been a little chilly in my 10-degree bag on some nights. It's been uncomfortable. And I know I could go with a different sleeping pad or a different different clothes to warm up, but like I think I would rather have a 5-degree bag, so I might end up going to that, but we'll see. That's still in the works. What Navy skills have you learned from Perk? You know, not a whole lot that I can think of. I don't know anything that we've covered that's necessarily anything that he learned in the Navy. I mean, you know, we talk about stuff all the time, but I guess no like survival skills or anything like that. But I don't know. He talks about a lot how the camaraderie of through hiking is the closest thing that he can compare to his time in the military with the people that, you know, that he grew close to and bonded with through everything that went on with them, you know. And so he says that, you know, when you've, I don't know, when you've been in stressful situations with groups of people, you bond, and whether that's in the military or whether that's through hiking, you know, the bond is similar. So anyway, that's kind of interesting the way that he's described that. And also, you know, he's like, when you go and do a tour of duty and then you come home and, you know, everyone's still doing the same things that they were doing before you left, and your life has changed so much in your experience, but they think that you're the exact same person, but you're not, because you've changed a lot in your perspective and your experiences, and that can be hard to deal with. And I've found the same true with through hiking. You know, it is not the same thing, and you know, and I'm not trying to say that it is, but it's similar from what Perk says. So that's interesting. Okay, let's see. Cursing. She learns lots of cursing from Perk. I do, and we have to bleep out, and I'm always like, Perk, like I'll be videoing and he's like F or S or whatever, and I'm like, stop, you can't say those words. But Aaron's pretty good at just silencing those. So ask Perk to tell you about SERE training. Oh, SERE training. Yes, he talks about SERE training. He has talked about that a lot, and we were actually talking about like hypoxia the other day, but maybe that was flight crew training. I don't know, we've talked about a lot of things. So yeah, I have heard a lot about those experiences, but yeah, he's not in here right now. Actually, I got the room to myself this time. Sometimes, you know, you just need some alone time. So okay, love the videos and pics. Maybe Aaron's trail name is the vid Vidiator. Hope the feet get rested. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, so I think we might go with Rogue. He actually introduced himself as Rogue the other day, so I guess. Have you postponed your quest to summit the highest point in each state? Not really postponed it. It's more like it's just a ongoing goal. It's like one of those goals. It's not of the highest priority or whatever, you know. But as I go through states and I'm near the high point, then I'll visit them. But like as far as to stall a through hike to go far out to do a summit and, you know, a point in a state, no. But like on the AT where they were pretty close, or like when I do road trips and I go by somewhere, then for sure. It's still on the bucket list. It's just ongoing. Let's see. I love the floppy hat. Embrace the hat. Yeah, embrace my inner Gilligan. It is what it is. Do you wash your face on the trail? Do you experience skin issues? So I wipe my face with a baby wipe and then I put lotion on. You can see I get acne, but that's like, you know, normal for girls, if you know what I'm saying, ever so often. So yeah, even at 30, I'll still get the acne. But luckily, being in the desert, your face just dries out real fast. So they'll pop up and then it's like the desert sucks the life out of my acne and it clears up faster. So I don't get any skin issues out here. If anything, it gets like almost a little better being so dry. On the AT, I think it cleared up a little bit, but I do always wipe it down with a baby wipe and then put some lotion on it because, you know, I'm getting some wrinkles and stuff, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm not 19 anymore. I'm 32, so it's just part of it. You know, your eyebrows start moving to your chin and stuff. You know, it's just how it is. So let's see. Check out that. Oh, wait. Does Aaron have a trail name yet? I don't recall you mentioning. Okay, yeah. That's what I was saying a minute ago. I think it's Rogue now. He was with Android, and then people kept asking if it's because of, like, the phone Android, and I think he got tired of answering that question. So I think now it's Rogue. We'll see if he sticks with it. Check out the Outdoor Research sun hats, built-in UPF and lightweight. Yeah, I'll have to do that. I mean, I got mine at Dollar General, you know, on the fly. So maybe while I'm home, I can check out something else. Or a buff. Yeah, that's an option too. The number one question is, have you had your first crap your pants incident on this trail? Oh, okay. Not yet, but y'all, I think it was close the other day. You know, you just can't trust Poot. So, yeah, Aaron said he saw me ahead. I was hiking, and he's like, then suddenly you just like, whoop, turned up into the bush and kind of waddled up in there. Luckily, no, I didn't, but sometimes it happens. But it hasn't on this trail yet. Hasn't happened yet, so I'm hoping it's not gonna. What style sleeping bag do you have? Mummy rectangular spoon. I have a Mummy. It's a Z-Packs, like their traditional sleeping bag, and it's 10 degrees. Hi from England. I was planning to hike the AT next year, but now I'm thinking of doing the PCT instead. I love different terrain and open spaces. The river crossings scare me though. Any advice? The river crossings shouldn't be as bad as they were the year that I went. They should not be that bad. So I would say for the few that you should run into that might be, you know, and it's nothing, like water's nothing to take lightly, right? Because all you need is to cover, like to lay down and cover your face to drown, right? You get knocked out on a rock and like you lay there and drown. Not to scare you, but like it's not to be taken lightly, like water can kill you. But I think for anything that will seriously be of danger, if there is anything, depending on how much snow comes that year, it'll just be in that stretch of the Sierra Nevada that you'll really have to worry about it. And it should only be like a few crossings, like very few. And you're going to gain confidence as you go. So whether you start southbound or you start up north and go south, or south and go north, you are going to build up courage. You're going to build up some grit. And I think that you'll find a lot of confidence in yourself you didn't know you had by the time you get to that point. Now, if not, there are going to be a lot of other people around you. If you have to set up camp and sit right there before a crossing, and that makes you feel comfortable, and wait on somebody else, nobody will mind that. Nobody will ridicule you for that. Nobody will think that's stupid. So you just sit and you wait until somebody comes along and you cross with them. So I think that's, you know, don't let that stop you, because you can always get to a river crossing and turn around and go back. You know, if you decide that you don't want to do it, you don't feel comfortable with it. So anyway, Go do that. Tell Perk thank you for his service. I will. He's actually, yeah, like I said, I got this room to myself this time, but I will tell him. Sometimes I need a break from the boys, and they probably need a break from me. So, but yeah, sometimes we all get, our rooms. Aaron said he was working all last night, or was gonna work all last night. He was like, honestly, I was thinking about getting my own room, so the three of us would have had our own rooms. But we're together a lot of the time, and then sometimes you just need some alone time, so that's okay. Dad used to dump a gallon of Clorox in a 3,000-gallon water tank every 6 months while I was growing up. Other than Mom's complaints of the smell, I don't know of any long-term effects. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the bleach is more of a mental thing for me. It's just like I prefer the Sawyer for sure. But if it's something that doesn't bother you mentally, then it's definitely an option. New Zealand is amazing. The shelters are way better than what you find on the AT, more like bunkhouses, and the trails are very, very well marked. May I suggest is that, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try because I'll look like an idiot. Okay, in Puerto Rico, Maui, or Lost Coast. Huh, okay. Perfect. Yeah, thank you for the suggestions. Yeah, I aim to do some things. So every time somebody suggests something to me, I'm like, okay, gotta keep that in the mental list. I need to start writing some of this down. So we got trails in Israel, we got some in New Zealand. So yeah, I need to start this down and really researching it. But Shirley wants to know if you have ever hiked rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. I haven't. That would be really cool. It's not on the immediate to-do list, but I would definitely enjoy something like that. So that would be really cool. I have been there, but just like, ooh, look, there it is, not really any hiking, maybe a couple miles, just around the rim a little bit, but that's it. Would you ever hike up Whitney in the dark again? I don't know that I'd ever hike up Whitney at all, ever again. Not because it wasn't beautiful, not because I didn't enjoy it, but because, I don't know, I feel like once I've done something, it's like, hey, got that done. Like, there's so much to do and see. You got to keep going, because you only have so much time and life and years of being able to do things like that. So, and those tick by like every minute, you got to make the dash count. So the dash in between, your birth year and the year you die. And so, I mean, it was amazing and it was beautiful, and I'm glad that I enjoyed that experience to the fullest, but I mean, don't get me wrong, if I am fortunate and I get to have children, because I definitely would like to do that, then if my children wanted to go up with me or something like that, they could probably talk me into it. So, or any of my siblings, if they really wanted to climb Whitney, I would definitely do it with them. So something like that. But I can't see myself being like, oh, I can't wait to go do Whitney again. And yeah, in the dark, that was a little rough. That was very challenging, but it really, I can't imagine it being a better experience. I definitely wouldn't suggest doing that alone. But it was a good experience. I get to climb Mount Whitney this August. So excited. Oh, very cool, Shelly. That is awesome. That's great. Yeah, it's beautiful. So I guess you'll be coming from the other side, which I hear is more difficult. And I think the people that, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say stuff like that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I would be more likely to do a midnight climb of Whitney from the PCT side than like the other side that I think most people come up, because I hear that one's a little more like treacherous. So anyway, so that's really cool that you're getting to do that. Weak signal where I'm at. Well, I hope everybody's not getting a weak signal from me. I'm going with a guided group. I'm not worried. Okay, good. That's awesome. Yeah, so you'll be with a group. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's like I blurt these things out and I'm like, oh, that might sound like I'm trying to like fearmonger people, because I'm definitely not a fearmonger. But yeah, as far as the midnight thing, it wasn't bad from the side that I went, but I can't speak for both sides, I guess is all I'm trying to say. I just would hate to be like, oh yeah, it's nothing, and then somebody get hurt and be like, she said it was easy, so okay, so I'm gonna go to some of the questions that folks left that said they couldn't be here. So does Perk find he's more likely to get a ride with people or like, interact with people on trail, like maybe they're more friendly if he's with me? So in other words, like does co-ed grouping have its added benefits when trying to find a helping hand or, get to town? And I would say, I feel like most boys would say yes, like it helps to have a girl with them when they're trying to hitchhike or, but I haven't known really anybody that just like doesn't get a ride at all. You know what I mean? Like eventually one comes. So I don't know, and it's hard to do the experiment without myself there. I can't suddenly not become a girl and see if it takes longer to get a ride at a spot than when I'm a girl. But I would say that the boys would tell you yes. But I can tell you that I've had a hard time getting hitches. So I don't think that just because you're a girl or just because you have a girl with you, like you're guaranteed. So, but yeah, I guess it has some benefits. I know that I have been picked up by people who said they wouldn't have picked me up if I wasn't a girl. So there is that. I do feel like I used to think that being a person alone was better, but I almost think that it's better if you have two people, because then the person driving the vehicle knows, like, okay, that person's not so crazy that they don't have at least one friend in the world, But that's just, I don't know. I guess I look at hitchhiking completely different now than before I backpacked. But I still do think that hitchhiking, like in the middle of Atlanta, Georgia, is much different than out here in rural America, on the CDT. So there's that. Let's see. So that was that one. And then what's next after the CDT? I answered that one. That one's still kind of pondering. So Jim asked about the Cadillac Ranch. So I don't know if y'all saw the first blog post I posted. It was like in reference, it was about the trip out here. And I talked about how I had visited the Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo, Texas before I came, like 4 years before I went on this road trip out here. And I was kind of like reflecting back at the things that were going on in my life then and then now. And so Jim wanted to know, like, as far as mental, physical, and emotional stress, like, compared to that time 4 years ago versus, like, now while I'm on trail. And, I mean, yeah, I stress about things. I stress, is there going to be water at the next source? Is there going to be enough food in my food bag by the time I'm getting close to town? It's totally different stresses. Yes, I mean, they still exist. I think if you can have a life that's completely stress-free, I think I would say that you're a liar. I mean, I shouldn't say that, because I'm sure there are some very trained people mentally and emotionally and physically that have managed to make it have managed to design their lives in a way that there's as little stress as possible, and that's wonderful. So I'm joking when I say you're a liar, but I think it's more about in life picking what stresses you want to have, what stresses are worth having in your life, and instead of just like, it's a great goal to be stress-free, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to have stress in your life, it might as well be things that's, it's worth stressing over. So worrying about stressing over, my feet being sore, and worrying about stressing over getting water and food and stuff like that is worth it to me. So, and the stresses that I had before the first time I stopped by Cadillac Ranch were not worth it, and that's why I got rid of those. So that's just, I guess, my take on it. But any real trail magic yet? And the answer is yes. We got some trail magic, and a fellow named JR cooked some steaks for us and some potatoes and some green beans and had some mead and scotch and a bunch of other things out there. So that was pretty great. Hope allergies are better now and feet will be okay. They look swollen. Road walks must be brutal, and like you must be getting radiant heat from the asphalt. And honestly, the heat really hasn't bothered me so much because it's so windy that it's just like everything gets cooled off so fast. So there are times where I'm cold in the middle of the day even, but like the sun is still baking me. So, but yeah, the road walks have been brutal feet. And like I said, my back is actually pretty sore, but not like in the spine or anything, but like in the muscles. So, so I don't know. What do you do to limit stress on and off trail exercise, massages, reflexology, herbal teas, etc. helped me. And that's also from Jim. And I would say, how do I limit stress? I think just like I said, kind of analyzing like what's worth stressing over and what's not, and trying to get better at that. I've only ever had one massage in my whole life, and that was actually from a lady who is a patron. Her name is Terry. It was at her salon, and I met with her to go over some of her gear, and so got a massage there, and that was amazing. So I wish that I could do that more often. That would be great. Those are great, and I do like herbal teas too, Jim. So, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is just weeding out what's not worth stressing over in life for me. All right, so somebody asked about, okay, from New Zealand, Perk's cowboy camping. And so how does he do it? So like, what do you mean by cowboy camping? And then like, what is it? Like what's involved and what's the definition? So cowboy camping is simply like, in the Westerns, you see these cowboys like laid out by the fire. And I mean, not that there has to be a fire, but and they would just kind of lay like out their bedroll and like lay down and sleep. So that's what we call it. When you're not in some sort of structure, shelter, like no tent, hammock, no bivvy, none of that. Like you're just open to the elements. You could lay there and open your eyes and see the stars. That means you are cowboy camping. So he has his ground cloth for his tent, the footprint that comes with the tent. So he just lays that down, puts his sleeping pad on top of it, a sleeping bag, and just lays on top of it. I cowboy camped some on the PCT, and I laid my tent down and laid on top of my tent, but I think that might be what caused some of the holes in my tent, so I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. If I do that on this trail for some reason, then I'll probably like try to fold it in half and hope that helps, or just get a piece of Tyvek to lay down and sleep on. So why would somebody want to cowboy camp? Like, what are the reasons for it? So if you're trying to get up real early, sometimes it's easier to not have to climb out of a tent, so you're like already out of it because you never got in it, and then it's like, okay, I got to get up and get motivated. You see the light more, and also it takes less time in the evening to set up a tent, so it also takes less time in the morning to like take down your tent. So it's just a matter of like time savings. And then what does he do about the bugs, rain, cold, etc.? So like if it's like extremely cold or it's raining or there are a ton of bugs, like you're less likely to cowboy camp. He still has a tent, has a shelter. He just chooses sometimes to cowboy camp, and everybody does. So, okay, let's see if any more questions have come up here. Thank you so much for sharing your time today. Well, I appreciate all of y'all being here today. When you're finished, I'd like to see a live chat with you and several Triple Crowners sit down and talk about your journeys. Just a thought. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That is a great idea. I appreciate you suggesting it. Watching your videos makes waiting for my PCT THRU-HIKE next year easier. Good! I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I've heard that Jupiter, I don't know if y'all know who he is, but he's doing a yo-yo on the PCT this year. So that means going up and hiking back down. And Jupiter Hikes is like his brand, I guess. But apparently he said on a podcast that yeah, when he misses the trail, he'll watch my videos, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I hit the mic. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. But yeah, so I'm glad. That makes me feel good. Retirement is the closest I've come to a stress-free life. Not perfect, but far less stressed than the last 20 years as an addictions counselor. Wow, Fred. Wow. I bet that was a stressful time, especially if you're a compassionate person. Like, just I would carry so much of that with me. It would be very difficult to do that every day. I mean, I guess with anything that you do, you get a little bit numb to it, but still, that's and it takes special people to do that. So, let's see. Do you expect more long stretches of road hiking? Yes. Yes, I do. Not immediately, but I think in Wyoming there will probably be a good bit of it, and maybe some in Montana, maybe some in Colorado. I don't know. Do you and Mayor ever plan to do a hike together? Maybe. Yeah, he's not, I don't think he's going to do the CDT this year, even southbound now. I think he's decided that he's maybe even float the Mississippi River with one of his friends. But he I don't know when he'll do the CDT. I don't know if it'll be next year while I'm doing something else. So I guess maybe once he gets done with the Triple Crown trails, you know, we'll see what we're both doing. Let's see. Last question. I promise. Oh no worries. Has the inReach been everything you hoped it would be? I remember you saying you really wanted to get one and you use it now. I'm doubting between the new inReach Mini and the Spot 3. I really do love the inReach. I love that I can Bluetooth it to my phone, so I can like text. You can even send some emojis so you can show your emotion. You can't send pictures or anything like that, but I really do love it a lot. And you can store waypoints in there. You can do like tracking, I guess, so they can like literally follow you while you walk. I haven't done any of that. I just like let people know I'm alive at night and where I'm camped when I don't have cell service. But and then just being able to like actually not just hit a button to send like a preset message, but to actually like communicate. So when I realized my my Sawyer was frozen, I didn't have cell service, so I would have had to sit in Pie Town and wait longer, or just go longer with bleach. Found out Walmart here is out of them, so I mean I have one now, so I'm good. But the other girl that I was talking about was going to get one, and they're out. So I was able to message my mom immediately and tell her, and she got 2 Sawyers in the mail that day, where I wouldn't have been able to do that without the inReach. So even if I had the Spot and she knew I was alive, I couldn't have, you know, done that. So that is pretty nice to have. But it just depends if you think you'll need that or not. Was it hard to learn to use the map/navigation functions within your inReach? No, not really. I mean, like, and I haven't done a whole lot of it. Like, I mainly use my phone. I use gut hooks, but the inReach does show where you're located, and it does show, you know, the map. And I haven't really delved into it much more than that, but it took a little bit of learning how to do it, but it's just like any other electronic device, you know. So it's just, you get the basics and you just have to figure out what this thing does, you know. But I really do like it a lot. I can't figure it out. I'll have to see if someone has explained it on YouTube. I'm sure someone has. Okay. Yeah, well, I guess I'm not sure that I've tried exactly what you're trying to do with it. So I've just like looked at the map. So I'm not sure that I even know. I'm sure though that somebody on YouTube will have something. So maybe that's something that I should play more, or play with it more and learn, so that I can teach people. So that's actually a good idea. Is your family as excited about these trips as we all are? Do they get excited for your videos on Wednesday? Thank you for all your time. Yeah, so my mom got much more into the PCT than the AT. I think. I mean, it seemed that way. You know, on the AT, I mean, she had more kids in high school still and stuff going on then, though. But I remember, like, telling her, oh, check out the guidebook and this and that, and I'm on this page, and like finally I was in New Hampshire, and I was like, yeah, Mom, turn to this page, and she was like, oh, I finally found the book the other day, so I can look now. And I'm like, I'm in the 13 out of 14 states, and you're just now looking, you know. And I remember, like, I kind of got sad or whatever. But for the PCT, I got her a map. And so she hung the map up on the wall, and she's got like a little sticky thing, and she like follows where I'm at. And they watch the videos, and they tell me like, oh, we just watched your video. Like, her and my dad played on the big screen and everything. And so I think that they do, you know, get more excited now. And then before I started the CDT, she was like, where's my map for the CDT? You know, so yeah, I think they do really enjoy it. And it's less now like, oh, we're scared and worried, and more like, well, she's going to do it, so, you know, we might as well get excited about it. And so my family is very supportive. I couldn't have gotten a better family, honestly. Like, I feel very fortunate to have them. My siblings and I are all close, and I don't know, I just feel like I'm best friends with my family. You know, they are my best friends. And so I'm very fortunate. We're all different in different ways, and we still all love each other, and like we can, you know, say things to each other and about each other, but let anybody else mess with the Mills bunch, and you know, they're gonna bite off more than they can chew, I reckon. So okay, let's see. Apologies if this has been asked before, but are you ever scared while hiking? And what was the cause? I guess there have been times where I've gotten like the heebie-jeebies for one reason or another. Bear country in New Jersey and New York, because the first bear that I met bluff charged me, so which was partially my fault, and so I did get a little nervous in bear country, like thick bear country. I'm talking about where you're seeing them a lot. Um, Also, when I first started not hiking alone on the AT, I got a little nervous. I was trying to catch up with people. But I ended up loving it a lot. And there was one time where I was, and when I write a book one day, I'm going to include this, but I was like trying to not hike pretty fast. You know, I was trying to make miles and catch up with my crew. And so I'd taken off a few days for graduation. So I'm trucking, and it's probably, you know, 1 in the morning. And I had just left a shelter and like checked one of the shelter logbooks and like saw where my tramily was, and put the logbook away and started hiking away. And I see this headlamp coming through the trees. Like it just appeared. And I was like, what is this? And so like I'm trucking, and I'm like, is somebody following me? And then like I still see it back there, and I went faster, and like it was keeping up, and so I'm going as excuse me, as fast as I can, and I'm like, I gotta get away, and I'm like falling down and slipping and stuff, like trying to run from this headlamp that's just like right there. And y'all, you know what it was? The moon. It was the moon chasing me while I was not hacking, and I finally realized that. So I was pretty embarrassed at myself. So anyway, so yeah, the moon, yeah. So I have been scared before, but it's not usually anything to be worried about. So let's see. Thanks, darling. Take care and happy hiking. All right, Gary. Did Perk get a thermometer? No, he has not yet. Have there been many snakes? I've only seen one snake, and it was dead. It was mashed on the road. But other than that, I haven't. Aaron saw one while he was on his little road walk. So, you have not seen wind yet. Wait for Wyoming. Yeah, yeah, I know. Maybe we'll be used to it by then. I can't hear anything. Says Jim. I'm sorry, Jim. I don't know why. And then you ask why no Dixie live this week. So, well, you can't hear me, but if you come and listen to this later, then no Dixie, there will be Dixie live this week. I just got to town. I haven't had good service, so I'll talk to Steve tonight. He's talking about the podcast that I'm involved in. I'm actually going to talk to Steve in like 40 minutes or so, I think. Did you get away from moon? Dawn says. Yes, when the sun came back up. But yeah, I know, I felt like such an idiot, but you know, it is what it is. Like, you gotta be able to laugh at yourself, I reckon. So, okay, somebody wanted to know, how is camping by the road? How's the weather been? And are you enjoying the Garmin? So, camping by the road, didn't have to do that because there ended up being like a campgrounds. So we didn't have to camp like right next to it. How has the weather been? Pretty warm during the day, sometimes still chilly even in the day. And at night it's been cold. It like a cold snap came in out of nowhere, and it's been hanging around like a shadow, I reckon. I don't know, like a what, but like a bad family member or something. I don't know. I just wish it would go away. I want to be hot again at night. I'd rather be sweating. So when we first started, I didn't even sleep in my pajamas half the time because it was that warm, and now it's freezing. It just doesn't make any sense. It's May. It's May, New Mexico. But anyway, yeah, it'll warm up. I know. That's the thing. When you start at the beginning and it's cold, you know it's going to get warmer. When it starts getting cold at the end, you better run. So, and then, yeah, the inReach is great. Oh, and then Sally asked, the Gila Cliff Dwellings, did y'all get to do that? And yes, we did do the cliff dwellings, and they were really cool. It was worth it. We got a ride from the information station down to the dwellings by somebody that's doing a section hike, and then a ride back, so we didn't have to walk like 4 miles extra just to get down there. But yeah, it was really neat to see. I enjoyed that, and that'll show up in one of the videos for sure. And then let's see, we talked about the paper maps and the compass. And then here's one. Read that only 150 to 200 people attempt the CDT annually, versus like say thousands on the PCT and the AT. How does that impact your trip? So like less amenities or supplies in towns. yes, I would say that the towns aren't as tailored to through hikers because there isn't as much to capitalize on at this point. But as more and more come through, you know, I think they'll know. And I've made a point of some of these little mom and pop places along the way to let them know, like, if you sold this, the hikers would use it. You know, I don't just look and keep it to myself like, oh, they don't have it. Like, I would go ahead and tell them, like, just so you know, when hikers come through, they're looking for XYZ, you know, because that's what it takes. You know, when they get asked enough, do you have this? Then they'll get it when they realize, you know, they can make some money off of it. And so I think that that's currently like happening, which is really cool to see that, to be on that part of it, like the transitional phase before it really booms, you know, into a bigger trail. More solitude, yes. Like, haven't seen a whole lot of people actually on trail. It's sometimes in town and stuff. Less maintained trail, yes. Definitely yes, yes, yes. Much less maintained than the AT and the PCT. And less sign of hikers. And that's really kind of one of the benefits, I guess. So if, you know, you're looking for that wilderness experience of a through hike and less of the community, then the CDT is your trail. Because, yeah, you don't see as many signs of people, you know, and the leave no trace stuff, like, nobody can leave a trace because nobody's out here, you know. So there is definitely less of that. So less random toilet paper, less, you know, trash, all of that. So let's see. Love that story about the moon. We have all had a moment like that at night in the woods. Yeah, like, it's just playing tricks with your mind, you know. But I think the more time you spend in the woods, the less it freaks you out, you know. Because for me, like, I cannot hike. I can just go by myself, not hiking, and I don't worry about it. The main thing I worry about is when I'm ready to stop, is the terrain going to be suitable enough for me to set up? Like, is it going to be raining? If it's going to be raining, probably not going to not hike. And, you know, worst case, like, if I'm not hiking, I'm ready to stop, I can cowboy camp like we were talking about. And so, you know, if there's not a beautiful area for me to set up my tent. Oh, Kelly asked, what is the name of the podcast? So the podcast is Dixie Live on the CDT, and it's with Steve, who does Mighty Blue on the Appalachian Trail. It's the hikingradionetwork.net. And it's a paid podcast because I didn't want to do sponsorship, like, as far as getting Z-Packs to sponsor. I'm not saying they would, but, like, to me that, I don't know, to me, you lose credibility when you start getting, like, sponsored by gear companies. So even, like, Darn Tough's Ox, you know, I mean, like, I don't know, I felt like it would lose credibility. So, but Steve has to be paid for his time. You know, he does give me part of that, and so for my time, and it's just something that he approached me about and asked me, like, would you be interested in doing, like, a temporary podcast with me for the duration of your CDT hike? And so I said yes. And so it's a subscription thing. It's $4 a month, and I guess we talk about once a week or so. But it's not like this. Like this, you know, y'all can ask me a question directly, like I'm interacting with y'all directly and talk about it. He just, like, has questions that he asks me and we converse, kind of thing. So, and some people prefer podcasts over videos, you know, so it works. And actually, I enjoy talking to him, and I don't know, because he's a hacker too, you know, so we just kind of banter about hacking. So, but let's see, do I have any more questions that I haven't answered yet? I think all the ones that people asked me that weren't going to be able to make it, I think I've got those covered. If not, and you're watching this and you did not get a question in for the Q&A and you didn't get to ask me something, or somehow I missed your question, then please shoot me a message on Patreon, because if you send me an email, it gets lost. Like, the email right now, I have an auto response to let people know that they probably won't get a response for a while, but, like, Patreon, I check that, you know, when I get service. And for those of y'all who have messaged me, I will be messaging you later tonight. There we go. So, okay, let's see. You are a huge inspiration to my girlfriend, and you have helped give her the strength to negotiate a new position with her company so that we may start some through hikes. So thank you. Yes! Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy to hear that. Oh, that is so cool. Congratulations to y'all. And At first I thought you were like just gonna say like just negotiate a new position because it's something that she wanted and it was a goal and whatever. But like it's even cooler that it's so that y'all can hike more. So that's great. Like I just want people to do what they want to do. Like, you know, if there's this thing that they've always wanted to do, I just want people to go for it, you know? So that's really great to hear. I appreciate you sharing that with me, and congratulations to y'all, for real. Dixie, are road walks tough on the body and mind? How are you reviving from them? Yeah, I mean, not really on the mind. I don't really mind it. Get to see cars coming by, get to wave at people, you know. Feet are, they're pretty swollen, got some blisters. But so I'm gonna ask them later, sit in the hot tub, maybe again tonight. But you just keep trucking. Just eventually we'll get calloused enough. But yeah, let's see. Good luck from Emma 12 and Abby 9. Oh, well, thank you, Emma, and thank you, Abby. And I hope that y'all had a good weekend. I know you have to go back to school tomorrow, so I hope that y'all are enjoying school. But yeah, anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate that. And tomorrow when I'm leaving and I start hiking, I'm going to remember that Emma and Abby told me good luck. So tomorrow is just going to have to be a good day now. So let's see. Ed finally made it in. Welcome, Ed. Let's see. What are the jobs you work back home? Mary Beth asks. Okay, so substitute teaching, waitressing, bartending, and in between the AT and the PCT, I did microgreen some, but until I'm going to settle down kind of in one spot, I probably won't crank that back up for businesses. Like it'll be for, you know, just me growing them for myself. But odds and end jobs, and then this next year, I'm really wanting to write more. So I want to get like a Preparing to Hike the PCT book out, Preparing to Hike the CDT book out, and then I want to do like a story, like the story of my experience on the Appalachian Trail, not just like these are the things that you need, like these are my suggestions kind of thing. But you know, like an actual like good book. So that's going to take some heart and soul and energy. So I want to continue to put out good info on the blogs, and then of course the videos will continue, informational ones. And then when I go, I'm pretty set on next year, spring, summer, getting out there and going through the fire closure areas that I can get through on the PCT. So filling in all of those holes so that I have the continuous footpath from Georgia to Maine. From Mexico to Canada on the PCT. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that whooped, and then maybe in the winter going ahead to New Zealand. That's kind of like how my brain is working right now. I'm kind of thinking like fill in the holes, ride a bunch, and then in the winter hit up New Zealand. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Dixie, got to get back to selling, making some money. Good night, y'all. God bless. All right, bye, Jim. Thank you for stopping in, and I hope you have a good night at work. And I'm sorry that the signal was cutting in and out for you. Will you film your fill-in PCT hacks for us? Yes. Yeah, if y'all would be interested in seeing that, then definitely. I mean, even if y'all were like, I don't want to see it, I probably will still do it. I mean, you know, I just... especially like Crater Lake area, you know, and I mean, I got through Crater Lake, but I didn't really get to see it well. So yeah, I would like to go back through and be able to redeem myself, because what Crater Lake footage I did get, which was mainly smoke and like you could tell that Wizard Island kind of exists, you know, most of that got lost. I accidentally deleted it. Like I was trying to upload videos in my sleep and I deleted them and then permanently deleted them, so like an idiot. So anyway, yes, I definitely have planned on in the fill in the holes area on the PCT, recording those and putting out videos, and then definitely New Zealand, you know. So do you journal each day as you hike, or just video your experience? I journal in my this that I have actually these questions written in. It's actually my journal. So I just like write notes about people that I've met or things that happened, what mileage I'm sleeping at, you know, all that stuff. Most nights, there are some nights where I'm just like, nope, not happening. So, and then also I can go through my picture roll on my phone to see, to like remember what happened, but then, and then I also video. So I do several things. I bet it is hard to think about the future now. It's okay, just enjoy the trail you are on right now. Well, thank you. Yeah, it is, but like I do, you know, I think about it and I'm like, okay, so what's next? So, and I think that that's probably my plan right now. Was there any of California that you missed? Yes, somewhere near Etna, there was a piece that I had to be driven into a trail so I could hike south and touch the closure and then come back north. So there's a piece in Etna. There's a piece near Idlewild that you could hike. I think I'll have to hike the road still. I think it's still closed. But you know, I went in and touched the closure and then walked a dirt road out to the main road. And then on the north side of it, I hiked south to the closure, and that's the area when we were going over San Jacinto. So yeah, there's a little, I think there are 2 little pieces in California, and then several in Oregon, and then 1 or 2 in Washington. So yeah. Let's see. Yay about the New Zealand hikes. Another place I've always dreamed of going that now I get to see before going there. Yay! Yeah, hopefully I'll do a good job with these other countries, you know, giving people an idea of what it's like to be there. And I think, you know, in a way, like, yeah, it would be great if I was super experienced with, you know, all these areas before I'm presenting them. But I think going as a newbie is kind of cool just so people can know what to expect when you don't know everything about a place already. So yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. But anyway, well, I think that is the last question. So I appreciate all of y'all tuning in today and taking time out of your weekend to come here and to chat. And I've really enjoyed it. This always revives me. It gets me like excited about backpacking in general, because like y'all always ask really good questions. So, and y'all make me think about some stuff too that I wouldn't think about otherwise. So but anyway, like I said before, thank y'all so much for your support and really for believing in me, you know, that like I'm gonna get out here and do it. And so it really means a lot to me. But is New Zealand going to be solo? I don't know yet, Ed. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I don't know if Aaron is gonna want to go there, or Mayor, or what. But good luck. Thanks for the Q&A. Thanks, Dixie. Stay safe. Thanks so much, Dixie. See you on the vlog. Awesome. Yeah, video coming out Wednesday. So thank y'all very much, and have a good evening and a good Monday tomorrow. Make it as good as it can be, you know. And I will see y'all next time. I'll let you know, as soon as I have good signal again, and hopefully I can do another one from the trail like I did that one day. So we'll see. But all right, y'all. Bye.